Hello, everyone, and congratulations, the third day, and you still look full of energy. And our panel here, at least, certainly brings a lot of energy. We will try to make this an engaging session. It's certainly an important session because we're talking about free resources for accessibility and assistive technology, in particular to help with the web, to access the web. So I have 4 wonderful panelists here. And so that they can dive into the matter and don't lose any time with presenting themselves, I have given them the task to summarize in 1 sentence who they are. So I can introduce them shortly, and then everyone has 8 minutes to share the content with the audience and to show what they are doing to make the web more accessible and to provide the resources to you in the audience. So we're kicking off with Masahiko-san. He is a researcher. He has already fans in the audience, so that's fantastic. And I'm not prepared because my notes are not in order. So he's researcher and developer in the image processing software at Ryobi Systems. And with that, I hand over.
Hi, everyone. I'm Masahiko Shimoda, working for Ryobi Systems in Japan. And today, I'll show you our assistive software for color blindness named VisSolve and our barrier-free project using this software. Let's begin. Color blindness is a condition in which a person sees colors differently from most people. There are 3 main types of color blindness: protanope, deuteranope, and tritanope. And red-green color blindness is the most common type and affects 8% males and 0.5% females in Europe and US. This figure shows each type of color blindness. See the upper left original color patches. We get much information by color. Here are some examples: subway route map and entry system window, in which the required field indicated by only color. And last one is photo of tomatoes in different ripeness stages. But it is difficult for colorblind people to get necessary information from these images. They see these images as follows. They can't find intended subway line and required field and can't know the ripe tomatoes. As you now know, there are many difficulties in colorblind people. This is the first solution for colorblind people. We provided assistive software VisSolve free of charge on our website since 2005. And iOS version is available on App Store. The download number is exceeded 70,000. And many websites put a link to our website on their pages. For example, the National Weather Service web pages in United States. Now I'll show you one video footage, how this software works. Running the software, this frame window appears and move and resize it to fit the area to convert. Select conversion type. Next shows the conversion examples. Red-green transform is converts redder color to brighter and greener colors to darker. Next, filtering is convert darken all color other than specified color to make it stand out. And hatching is draw different hatch pattern according to colors. And you can switch draw and non-draw hatch patterns. And double-click applying filtering. Then I'll show you one more video. That is a simulation of the previous video. Please experience colorblind view. Do you remember it convert redder color to brighter and greener color to darker? Filtering is clearly effective for colorblind people. And hatching is also effective. I hope you understood the effectiveness of this software. So this is second solution. Company and institute who produce color blindness products, we offer color accessibility consulting service and support for a fee. And one of the customers is Okayama Broadcasting Company. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Masahiko. And
Thank
8
you.
minutes is short.
Thank you.
But the positive point is we're still here afterwards. So if you have questions, Masahiko will be able to explain them in more detail. And we'll also have a short Q&A session at the end. Now we switch over to Helene. Helene was member of the Austrian Parliament, is president of the Austrian Deaf Association, and a leader in the deaf community. So now we are looking forward to discovering your solution.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm going to describe myself for a little bit. I'm a very tall woman with long blonde hairs. I'm wearing a gray jacket, and I have 2 interpreters with me today. I am a deaf woman and a deaf individual, and we want to provide bilingual accessibility and accessibility for persons who has a hearing disability. So we offer sign language and also a written text. For many years ago, we talked about a solution, how to can provide a bilingual or the bimodal solution for a web accessibility. Very often, deaf individuals have difficulties to understand text, written text. So we talk about how to change this problem and to find a solution that people who has a hearing disability or a low written competence to write, to read, how to can access to text information. So with our solution, we can reach 1.3 million people in Austria who have different disabilities, such deaf people, people who are hard of hearing or becoming later by age deaf, also blind and visual impaired persons, people who had reading difficulties and low written language skills. So to our futures, I want to explain to you how our hypersign actually works. We have also the possibility that the user can choose by himself or by herself if she want to have the text with audio or without audio. So you can switch the tone on or off. Also, you can use and choose if you want to have subtitles or even not, to change the foot or even to vary between the contrast of the text. This is very good for blind persons, for example. Also, we have the possibility that we a comprehensive solution in which text, sound, and sign language are synchronously linked and perceptible at the same time, and can be also adapted for every special need that the user has. So also with this linked text highlighting to the signing information can offer a much easier understanding for the language. And every user can choose for himself which solution is the best one for his issue. Our HyperSign is compatible with every end devices. You also can use it with your PC, also with your smartphone, and every end devices. We also work for diverse homepages, and you can, with our SignWork, make your homepage very accessible. Also can put CI color ahead, or heading the text in CI color, links in the text and CI colors, and switch also with this highlight between the signing person and the text. So with our comprehensive solution, we not only access deaf people, but also a very big public, a very big audience. And our goal or our aim is that everyone gets a good solution for an accessible web. So if you're interested in our project, you can also get more information on our website about HyperSign. Thank you for your attention.
Oh, sorry for interrupting. Thank you, Helene. You made the time. You made our timekeeper very happy. You're one of the few ones who keep the time. So congratulations on that. And also, you closed on a very important point that I will afterwards ask all of you. How can the audience then come and try your wonderful solution? So keep that in mind. Now we jump to the other side of our panel, and that is Greg. And trying to present Greg in one sentence, it's quite a challenge. Greg has been working in disability and accessibility and technology for over 50 years. You have done many, many things, pioneered a lot of solutions, so I invite every one of you to also go and read the bio. And today, you are presenting 2 new concepts to us. Go ahead.
Thank you. So we want to talk about Morphic and AT on demand. Now, Morphic is a free open source tool. This is a different presentation. Okay, well, we're going to make this one up as we go then. This is a free open source tool for the Mac that makes it easier and simpler to use. And first of all, it makes it easier to find the key features that are built into the Mac and Windows, and it also makes them easier to use. One of the things that we have is there's a lot of accessibility built directly into the operating systems. But the operating systems have them all in the control panels, and we find large numbers of individuals never find them there. They're too hard to find, and an amazing number of people are afraid to go into the control panels they're afraid they'll break the computer. So one of the things we try to do is to bring Morphic out of that and put it onto the desktop with a little toolbar. Now, the things I'm going to show you are all built into Windows, but we'll just do a quick demo here.
Morphic Basic makes computers easier to use in a number of ways. First, it provides a convenient Morphic bar on the bottom of the screen that gives you one-click access to many of the features built into your computer. You can show or hide the Morphic bar by clicking on the small icon below. You can use the Morphic bar, for example, to increase the size of everything on screen with a single click. Or you can pop up a magnifier to look at something in more detail. If you want to take a picture of something for a report, the snip tool allows you to take a picture of any part of the screen, which you can then paste into an email or a report or any other place you'd like to have the picture. If you have trouble reading something because it's too small or you just want to rest your eyes, you can select any text, click Read
The
Selected,
most common cause of color blindness is an inherited problem in the development of one or
and it will be read to you. You can increase the contrast of the screen. If you have color blindness, you can use the color blindness feature to easily shift the colors to make things easier for you to see, and you can adjust it for different types of color blindness. Some people like having the whole screen be dark with light lettering, and so the dark feature is provided and you can get at it with a single click. There's also a night feature which causes the whole screen to shift into a much yellower format, which is easier on the eyes, and some people think it makes it easier to fall asleep at night. Morphic also lets you access many other settings on the computer very easily. If you want to, for example, change the pointer size, you can simply click here and it'll open up the control panel to exactly the place that you need it to be to do that. There are also many other resources available to make the computer easier to use. Finally, for assistive technology users, you have the ability to save all of the settings on your assistive technologies and then go to another computer and have that computer to be set up exactly like your computer. All of these features are available both on the PC and on the Macintosh, and you can get them free by downloading.
Oh, sorry, my mic got turned off. One of the other features we talked about is contrast, and interestingly, we found this has helped a lot of people with migraines that we had not expected. Now, all of these things, as we said before, are actually not features of Morphic. They're features that are already built into the operating systems, and Morphic is just bringing them out and making them easy to use. Also, this kind of looks like a little Morphic bar. It looks like maybe it's an overlay. And although this session is about web content, these features work on everything. They work on every app, everything, because they're built right into the operating system. So they work on every website, every browser, every app, off the web, on the web, etc. But what if the stuff that's built into the computer is not good enough for you? What if you need a special assistive technology? So we have something called Assistive Technology on Demand. And it is a free feature that lets the AT follow you to any computer that you encounter. For example, schools, libraries, community centers. So imagine, however, that you are someone who needs an AT in order to be able to use a computer, but you don't have a computer of your own. This is a real problem for a lot of places where they don't have a lot of resources. They need AT. Even if somebody gave them AT, there's nothing they can do with it. They can't install it on the computers at school. They can't install it on the computers. So as a child, you go to a library and you find lots of computers in the kids area for kids to use, but you can't use any of them because you can't install your AT. As you grow, you keep encountering computers that you're supposed to be able to use at school, in labs, community centers, doctor's office, government services. And these are there for everybody to use except you, because you can't use any of them either. They are not accessible to you. You can't put your AT onto them. So with Morphic install, anytime an AT user sits down to a computer, the AT they need is automatically installed on that computer. And then it's set up exactly the way that person needs to use it. And when they're done, it all disappears. So for the first time, all those computers that you saw before that were inaccessible are now accessible to you, because you can sit down to any one of them in any classroom, any lab, and your AT shows up. It's a game changer for everybody who needs AT, but it is the only way that people who need AT and don't have their own computer will ever be able to access a computer, because it's the only way they can actually install it on all these other computers that they find around them. And it's their only chance for digital equity with their peers. Our goal is to get every public and shared computer in the world to have it on there, so that anyone who needs AT can sit down and use any computer they encounter and need to use in any country, anywhere. The next steps, we're trying to, right now we're in the process of outreach and expansion. We've had on 10,000 computers in 50 schools, libraries, and disability programs. We want to expand this out to be wide enough deployment that it's truly ubiquitous and everywhere. And then we're also looking for partners to help us in all the different locations to try to do this. We try to get it to all of the computers in any country where there are people with disabilities and computers, and that's everywhere. Thank you. Both of these are free, and you can download them anytime and try them.
Wonderful, Greg. Thank you very much. And now we have a fourth solution by Musumi. Musumi is the founder and CEO of Continual Engine and is specialized in AI-supported assistive technology. So we're looking forward to hearing about your solution.
Thank you, Sabine. Okay, so hi, I'm Ashmi Kapoor, and I'm the founder and CEO of Continual Engine. And before I go into our solutions, just a very quick introduction of Continual Engine. At Continual Engine, our mission is to automate the steps around making digital content accessible. We leverage sophisticated technologies like AI, deep learning, machine learning, and automation to build smart, affordable, and scalable systems. These systems, in collaboration with human experts, deliver exponential scale and efficiencies. Now, our products and solutions, they span across the entire gamut of digital content, like images, videos, PDFs, PowerPoints, websites. So I will be focusing on 3 of our solutions here, which I think would be of particular interest to the audience here. The first one is what we call Invicta. And what it does is it makes images accessible. Invicta is an AI-powered engine that auto-generates highly sophisticated alt text for very complex educational content like circuits, diagrams, structures, graphs. Invicta is a proprietary product of Continual Engine. It's been trained on millions of images across a wide range of disciplines like chemistry, physics, math, engineering. And again, there is always a human in the loop who looks at these descriptions, vets them, understands the context around the image, and modifies them accordingly. So these APIs have helped businesses reduce turnaround time by at least 40%, cost by at least 50%, and also has ensured high quality of alt text descriptions. So how would Invicta processing compare with manual authoring, right? So Invicta processing image takes around 5 seconds. Manual authoring takes 10 to 30 minutes. Manual editing takes 8 to 15 minutes, whereas Invicta editing will take much lesser time because it's been trained on millions of images. And again, with the current server system, it can be scaled. So we don't need many humans checking all the output. So scalability is something that we can achieve with Invicta. So here are some examples. And here you can see that there's a very complex graph. There are some very complex chemistry structures. What Invicta does is understands the components of these images and then converts it into a highly sophisticated English language description. Next, we move on to our video accessibility solutions. Now, videos are nothing but an extension of images. They are frames. So each one of these frames can be captured, and again, our Invicta APIs work on these frames and generate highly accurate audio descriptions for these frames, which are then again stitched together to form audio descriptions for the entire video. Also, we have proprietary captioning and transcription framework, which is AI-assisted for videos. Next, we move on to document accessibility. We have a product which is called PREP, which is PDF Remediation Platform. Here again, we have AI-assisted algorithms which have been trained on millions of documents, which can auto-tag documents and again bring immense cost and time savings. Also, PREP comes with a highly intuitive UI where the user can look at the tags that got generated and can modify it if there have been any errors that are made. Also, PREP is integrated with our Invicta APIs, so not only is your document getting accessible, but also the images in the documents are getting accessible at the same time. So PREP has an inbuilt versatile accessibility checker. It can handle complex STEM documents. It can convert your PDF into EPUB, HTML, audiobooks. It can handle scanned documents effortlessly, and it can simplify tagging of complex lists, tables, and table of contents, which people who are experienced in PDF remediation know that take a lot of time. So PREP basically simplifies the entire process of remediating PDFs and gives immense cost and time savings. That's it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Musumi. All right, so we had presented 4 different solutions to make the web more accessible. Before we dive into our panel discussion, are there any questions from the audience to one of our presenters? Don't be shy, it's Friday afternoon, so it's still okay to ask questions. Yes, I see a hand in the back. Go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you for the information on the PDF accessibility with PREP. How can we get some exposure or testing around that?
We do have a sandbox environment, so you can reach out to us and we can give you access to that.
Will do. Thank you very much.
That was a fast answer. So any other questions from the audience? No? All right, then I will move ahead with my question. So the first and imminent question is how can we use all of this wonderful solution? So where do I find the Ryobi solution? How can I test it, for example?
You can download our software from our website.
And I can just go there as a private person and download it for free?
Yes, it's free.
Okay. Perfect, wonderful. Helene, how about your solution? How about HyperSign? Can I just go ahead and test it?
Yes, it's possible. It's on our website. I showed it in my presentation. ogsbarrierefrei.at, and there you find how it works, and it's open for you to test it. So you can see the symbols and items.
In that particular case also, does it work in different languages, or is it for the moment exclusively in German?
Actually, it's in German, but it's possible to add other languages and international sign. But now it's concentrated in for Austria and German.
To start with, perfect. All right, then, this time I reverse the order. Musimi first. How can we try it?
Yes, so you actually request access to us, and then we give you access to a sandbox environment.
Okay, and then I have to download it to my device?
No, we have a UI, so you just upload your document or your image, and the output comes out.
Okay, wonderful, great. And Greg, how about your solution?
The solutions are all free, and you can get at Morphic, morphic.org, and they're right there. You just click and you can download them and install them. For the AT on demand, contact us because we would work with whichever organization setting it up to give them the package with all the install groups and work with them to set that up.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so to not be unfair, I stay with you and I reverse the order completely. What was surprising in developing your solution? Was there anything that you hadn't anticipated?
Yes, the biggest thing that we found, and this is a really important thing, is that there's something that I call digital affinity, and that's the ability to learn and understand technology. And it's completely separate from intelligence. We have professors who are top of their field, and they can't figure out how to use their computers or get onto Zoom when the pandemic came along. So we need to recognize that at all ages, all disabilities, with disability, without disability, there are some of us who are really good with technology, and there are some of us who are just like some people can sing and some people can't. Really, it's very confusing, and we need to start figuring out how to create our assistive technologies and our solutions to be less complicated and to work for the full range of people with different digital skills. This isn't literacy. The professors have been using computers all this time, and they still can't figure out how to use them. And they're brilliant at other things. So that's the biggest thing we found.
Sorry, thank you, Greg. All right. Musumi, was there anything in developing your solution that you found surprising, or maybe also that you have unintended additional benefits?
I think what I found the most challenging was alt text. And alt text is such a highly nuanced entity, and it can mean different things in different contexts. And for a machine to be able to understand that context and to be able to create that kind of alt text is something that it was highly challenging, and also to be able to convince our users that our machines, along with our human expert, is capable of capturing all these nuances and creating high quality alt text is one of the challenges that we faced. And I think one of the rewards is, as we developed a product for image, then we found that it could be readily extended to videos. And basically then we also got a lot of demand from our customers saying that, hey, images don't exist in isolation, so you need to work on PDFs, you need to work on EPUBs. And so we were forced to sort of come up with a comprehensive solution which addresses everything. So overall, that was the journey which I found quite productive, quite fruitful.
Thank you, Musumi. Then I have a slightly different question. I apologize to interpreter from Masahiko-san. Can you also tell us where right now your solution is in use? What is your experience with the solution in practice? And then also, were there any surprising results coming out of it?
We develop column blindness assistive software for Windows or Mac OS. And this software captures the screen and convert it. So it's a snapshot, only snapshot conversion. But some users try to net gaming. Why, I don't know why he says, I never die from this software. Why I can't use his use of way of use.
So that was one of the surprising outcomes for you.
Yes.
Where are you going? Is there a future vision in which you want to develop your product, your service?
our software, our software embedded in microscope, something like other companies' products built in our software. So colorblind people use such machine and color different clearly.
Thank you, Masahiko.
Thank you.
And then coming to Helene. So because you mentioned already that this service is supposed to help or can potentially help 1.3 million people. That's, I mean, just to know for everyone, we only have 9 million people in Austria, so that's a huge percentage. In developing that service, what was surprising for you? And also, did you then along the way have unintended consequences or additional benefits that just showed themselves in developing the solution?
Well,
we have 80% accessibility with this solution, but we are working on especially to provide also a comprehensive solution, so you can translate your text also in international sign language and use 100% of accessibility. We started with small videos, and now we can provide also bigger videos and provide 2 or 3 different variants from that. For 20 years ago, it was very important for us that we have translation for home pages in sign language. And now we are working on education for deaf people, to reach for deaf people higher quality in education. So we can use our technology also for education settings. If we have videos, for example, we can also provide the text to the video. One person makes the sign language video, a native speaker makes the sign language video, another person who is capable to correct this video are sign language interpreters who are educated and professionals, and afterwards we can guarantee a high quality and authenticity because we have the native signers and we have the qualified interpreters who are correcting our videos for the website.
Wonderful, thank you. So quite a few additional benefits that came out of it. Perfect, good. In the meantime, have any questions arisen in the audience? Last chance to put your question forward. Well, it's not the last chance because, of course, our panel is afterwards here for your more private questions. Is there one? Oh, here, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had to battle some chairs to get to the microphone. Sorry. I work as a usability tester for a website analyst company, and I find that free checks are great, but there's nothing like usability testing and thorough people testing of websites and documents. So how, I mean, it's expensive, but it's well worth it. So how can we trust the free software over the people-intensive thorough testing?
So this is a question going to Musumi, or just a general question?
Probably, definitely, yeah.
To Musumi,
sorry.
are you willing to take it on?
Yeah, actually, right now we have brought our costs down quite a bit, but our software is still not free, so so there is that. So I think I might not be the best person to answer this.
Yeah, I think I understand that if it was fully automated, what you're basically asking, if I understood it correctly, was you have these tools and they're automatic and stuff, but you know, are they going to be good enough as compared to actually having real users test the stuff? And I think that even in your software, you use the tool to create a first version, and then you have a human being double check it. So I think that at least Yeah, maybe someday the AI will be brighter than we are, and that's kind of scary. But for right now, the best uses of AI are to make our work easier. Have you ever had an assistant and they're junior and they're learning and they're pretty good, but you don't want to ship their product? So you have them take the first pass at it, and then it's a lot easier for you to just correct it. And I think that's the model that we should be using with AI. Think of it as a junior thing that's still learning, and it makes some really ridiculous mistakes sometimes, but other times it does good. So we let them do the first pass at everything, and then it makes it a lot easier for us to come along, and we don't have to do the stuff that's real easy. But we need to have that correction, and I think that's the key.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Thanks for jumping in there. Yes, you're exactly right. AI, that's why we always say that our accuracies are anywhere from, say, 75 to 95%, but we always would like to have a human in the loop to go through what the AI's output is to make sure that user experience is perfect. And what we try to do is all our outputs, after it has gone through human intervention, we again feed it back to the machine. So what we are trying to do is continuously making the machines learn and increase the first pass accuracy so that human intervention keeps reducing as time passes. But nothing can, we definitely need the human in the loop. So that you cannot supplant.
Thank you, perfect.
Excellent question.
Good. Do we have another question from the audience? Yes, over there.
Okay, I have a question to Mausuka. Because I am a hard of hearing user of captions, then comes to like automatic captions. I've read in your presentation that this is accessible like for businesses and educational settings. What about the individual users, the NGOs, if you want to expand your product to such kind of entities or not?
Yes, of course. This can be used by individuals, by NGOs. We work with NGOs as well across the world. We work with Government of India. We have made textbooks accessible for some of the state governments. So our technology is available for use for everybody, and we try and have different tiers of pricing depending on if it's a commercial venture, NGO venture, or an individual. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you. Do we have another question from the audience? No, I don't think so. Okay, good. Then I have a final question to my panel for every one of you. What is your call to action or your ask for help, or what do you want the audience to do right now? You had 8 minutes to present your service. What would you like from the audience? How can they support you? What can they do? What should they do? What is the homework going out of this session? And this time we again go with the reversed order. We start with Greg, then Musumi, then Helene, and then Masahiko-san.
Morphic is free. We are moving it into different countries, but for each country we need somebody who speaks the language natively to make sure that it gets translated accurately, as you say. People who are interested in seeing this in their country or promoting it in their country, contact us. We can easily make it available in the languages of your country, and would love to work on getting it out in the different countries through the different partners and people working. And in your own programs too. Again, it's free, and it really is something that should be everywhere. So anything that you can do to help us in that mission is great. Thank you.
Yes, and as far as Continual Engines products are, we would love for you to come and use them and give us feedback. The more feedback that we get from you, the better we can make our products. So that would be my ask of the audience. Thanks.
Well, I think it's important that in this case, every country has his own solution in his own national sign language and adapting for the needs for the people who are living in the country. I think for us, for Austria, it's this very good solution, but I think for the other countries, it would be good to have such solutions that we have everywhere in every European country, for example, the same accessibility, that people can understand and get the information how they need. But always is a question of a budget, of course, and that's a little bit a problem, yeah.
We developed software for colorblind people, and many users use our software for human-created map or chart. But we can select a color combination. So many people notice the color combination design. So our software no more needed in the near future. Many people, I think it is important thing is many people see the current blindness difficulty.
Question for you.
For me?
Yes, for you. If people in the audience want to get in contact with any of the people on the stage, what's the easiest way for them to get the contact information?
Wonderful. So on one hand, you have on the conference platform, right, you have the possibility to connect with every speaker and to send an email within the platform. And also, if you really want to connect outside, I'm sure if you get in touch with the Zero Project team, that it will be possible. But I would advise use the conference platform because there is the opportunity to directly connect. So thank you for the question, Greg. That was a good one. And then with closing the session, I will give you all a homework. I would say every one of you just commit to use one of the services. I mean, some are for free, some can at least be learned more in detail about, and only by using it themselves will you be able to understand. So please take as a homework for this weekend to test one of the services, and do use the opportunity to connect with our panel directly because we're still around after this session. And with that, I give the organizers back 5 minutes. Enjoy your afternoon. Thank you.